Come back to Hyde's Bowling Lanes right here in White Oak, and you take a look at it. Bo, a very, very cozy place right here.
It really is. I can see why the Enquirer gave him the 5-star rating. It's just a delightful place to come.
Well, here we go. Tim Sharp gonna let fly first time, and we've seen it time and time again. Off on the right foot. And, you know, it's been a while, Bo, since Tim Sharp has been on our show.
That's correct. Well, he actually makes it. I'm trying to think. I can't say every other year. 79, he made it. 81, 83, 84, 85, and 86.
Well, I only saw the 79.
I know, isn't that true? He's been on 11 times.
Excuse me, Tim.
Wow. We alluded to it at the opening, Tommy. Both players very, very well schooled on the lanes. Bob is going to rear back. He's going to throw a little harder. He's going to be a little more aggressive at the bottom of the swing, but advantage goes to neither bowler right now. These players are equally matched. We're going to have a good match.
Bob is from right here in Cincinnati. His competitor, Tim, from Highland, Kentucky. And I'll tell you, you know, we were talking, Dave, a little bit earlier, and last week, well, that could be awfully tough to match this week. You can hear young David Newrath, folks, at home. He wants to get in on the action like Dad.
He wants to do some of the announcing.
He's getting bent out of shape. Mom's getting him away from here. He's saying, give me that microphone and get Dad out.
When it comes to bowling, he wants to talk bowling. Mom just drug him in the back. My little boy is not an exception to the rule. There's a lot of young people out there getting involved in this great game of bowling, and the bumper bowl programs and the carpeted lanes is a testament to that, Bo. The response after we had our first part of the year on bumper bowling was phenomenal. I
understand Western Bowl had somewhere in the range of 600 youngsters between the ages of 5 and 7 come in and bowl on the bumper bowls.
Kids all over the city are going out, going to school their games, and this is a great guy to school themselves after. Mr. Tim Sharp, excellently thrown ball, frame 2. He's perfect through 2, and for those of you that remember him in years past, Tim is throwing the ball with a little more authority this year than he has in years gone by, and the point being, he has to change his game to adapt to certain conditions, and boy, can he do that.
Tim has also been our king previously. 1985, he was the king in the finals. He's got 5 300 games to his credentials and 2 800 series.
5 300 games. Watch it on the replay. This is how he could get there with 5 300 games. Absolutely perfect. Good projection through the ball. Wrist roll, 1-3 pocket, completely disintegrated. 10 pins in the pit. Bob Schoemer has got his hands full with Tim Sharp. Look, unbelievable. The cranking action that we can see on this one, Tommy. Bo, we've seen it so many times. Bob Schoemer is ready. He's hot. He's ready to go. He's so hot, as a matter of fact, he's got a little sweat worked out there.
Yeah, well, you know, in any sport, some of the participants need that to kind of get going.
You know, Tom, this is not his first appearance on the TV show. It is his first appearance as a king. When he bowled on TV last time, it was in the Youth King of TV. Back in 1979, he rolled a 259 game. He was 14 years old, and he bowled here at Hyde's.
The power, let's look at it. This is the power right through the release. We talked about it. Rip the bottom out of the ball. Now watch it here. It's too wide, isn't it? Head pin, center your screen, going to the left wall. Now watch it come off. Double duty, overtime on the 4 and the 7. Knocks the 4 into the 8. What a ball.
Tim Sharp.
What a ball right there. Tommy, he is absolutely perfect. You want to fill up the pocket. That's the way you do it. Jingle, jingle. Here come the keys.
Boy, and I'll tell you what. They have a Ford Taurus. Todd Scheller brought it over this morning. It is gorgeous. It's a new color. It's a taupe. I've never seen that color.
What?
Yeah, taupe.
How about topaz?
No, it's taupe.
Yeah, taupe.
Taupe. But it's a 1987 Ford Taurus. It's the luxury model, and it's sitting in a parking lot right now, guys.
Well, Tim keeps going. They might have to start warming that up a little bit. And there,
Oh, no.
put the hex on him.
We talk about the week 10. This is a perfect shot to see why you leave the 10 pin. Now, ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes on the ball as it hits the 1-3 pocket. The ball is going to go jump to the right. Looks like it. See there? No good roll. Jumps to the right, takes a 3-pin straight back, puts the 6-pin too much of an angle into the channel. Week 10. Put the keys away after 4, but he's right in the pocket, and that's where you want to be.
Picks up the spare, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the score. And David, how are we sitting right about this point of the match?
Well, we've got a very good match, as you can see. 109 for Tim in the 9th. If Bob Schoemer would happen to strike here in the 5th frame, that could get him to 100, which would get him 9 pins in the rears with a strike working. Tough break again. The ball deflecting a little bit too much for these players right now. They're going to compensate and come back with some good strings.
Bob seems to be playing much deeper inside than Tim. Do you think that has something to do with the deflection of the ball?
Well, the amount of hook that he is throwing basically determines where he has to play the lane from. Now that can affect the amount of deflection, surely. And we can get a shot, compare the two where they play on the lanes here next frame. You pointed out Bob's going to be playing right in the area of the 15th board or the 3rd arrow, and even further to the left, Tim Sharp will be right around the 14th or 15th board.
You know, Bo, you talked about earlier the fact we are recording on a Saturday, a little different than a Sunday, so qualifying actually going on a little later today.
That's correct. We are at Glenmore Bowl in Cheviot, just across the way from here, and really not that far. They can call Glenmore Bowl if they'd like to bowl. We'd like to see y'all come out. We only have a couple weeks left, by the way.
That's exactly right. We've got 2 after this, and of course, then we've got the finals.
Let's take a look at it here. We talked about it. So, shot of Bob going down. Now he is going to throw this ball terribly. Watch his elbow flare out to the right there at the point of release. It flares out. He gets the ball in too early, cuts right straight through the heart, leaving the 3, 6, 10, and he annihilates it on the spare, Tommy.
Well, if you're not going to knock all 10 of them down like we've seen these gentlemen do a few times already in this match, pick them up on the next one. And now Tim Sharp. Take a look at the 28-year-old.
Both players going high in exactly the same place. What's happening? What's happening? Well, we can take a look at it. Is it a mistake? I don't think so. Watch it here on the replay. No, he executes perfectly. He's right over the 14th board where he wants to be, but this ball does not continue to go to the right. It hooks about a foot early, crashing through, leaving the 4, 6, 7. He takes the 4 and the 6 out, and his lead goes bye-bye, Tommy.
Well, we saw on the women's side just a little while ago when Jennifer Kleekamp had that open frame after 3 strikes early. It looked like that things went the wrong way from there. So this could be a very critical ball right here for Tim Sharp.
Exactly. His lead is now cut to 9 pins. His job is to forget about it, make the adjustment on the lane, and come on back with a couple of strikes.
How about it?
That's the way you do it. The scoreboard will tell the story. 135 for Tim Sharp in the 6th frame. If Bob would happen to register a strike here in the 7th, give him 126. As you see, a 9-pin disadvantage. Both players would have a strike working. Bob's got to have this one.
You know, our camera picks up a really unique angle today. We're sitting up a little higher than the bowlers. The way Hides is made, you go down some steps, and it's a great place to watch bowling. But I've been noticing our new secretary for the BPA is sitting there, Kathy Brocksterman, and her husband sort of sitting up to her right. Here you see Kathy.
They were both in an opportune position to watch Bob throw a very bad shot, way wide, leaving the 1, 2, 4, 10. A war shot is what we call it, and that's the way you make it.
Wow, what a shot. And I guess, Dave, that's the only way you're going to pick that up.
It's tough to make it any other way. This is the way you do it. With a big bender, it looks like there's no way this is going to make it. You want to bet? Let's watch it here. Head pin straight into the 10. Does he like it? Does he like it? And it was nothing.
Come on
Just
now.
another routine.
Bob, come on, you got him, pal.
Want to keep that adrenaline at a level, I guess. That's got to pump him up, though, knowing that he can bring that one back. Going wide, leaving the 2-7, a baby split, and not a difficult split, but he is lost.
You know, it seems like we've seen each of the bowlers. At one time they've gone wide, and another time they've gone high.
Well, that's, you start correcting in a lot of cases, Tommy. You overcorrect in this game. We're talking very, very small adjustment to make up for what appears to be a large mistake at the end of 60 feet.
We have got some of the owners and/or managers.
Right. In fact, right over Bob's shoulder is Charlene Baker. She is the daughter of Walter and Charlotte Hyde, who own the lanes here. And son Butch also works hard. They both manage the lanes.
Tim Sharp, smelling victory, just rams it right home in the 8th frame. Double working, really takes the advantage. There you go.
There's Charlotte and her husband Ron Baker, and Butch Hyde with the really neat little boutonniere on. We have to thank Charlene. Everybody that came in this morning, she had a little corsage or a boutonniere for everybody.
I think it probably looks best on Dave. Well, no, on Bo, but Dave's like a close second.
Thanks, Tom. I'm into flowers. Dave. You know, Freddie used to wear flowers, and well, never mind. Enough said. 2-4-5, going wide. Both players not showing the comfort with what they're doing out there. Tim Sharp has the advantage, but not comfortable.
Seen them all over.
Really.
They both started out so strong with all the strikes and the aggressiveness. You know, have they changed their speed any, David? Is that what's happening?
It doesn't appear to be evident. Look out, chopping the 2-4 off the 5. With any sort of a mark there, this game would have been absolute history. Tim Sharp has given one last possible breath of life to Bob Schoemer. Bob strikes out in the 9th and 10th frame, would give him 2-0. Tim Sharp, if he opened, what a shot. Classic delivery in a crucial situation. Not a weak 10. A pack 10-pin.
You can obviously see that Bob is a little disappointed. He thought he hit that one well, Dave, and you mentioned he did hit it well. But it didn't go for him. He goes for the spare and picks it up. But a spare won't get it done.
Well, the only chance he's got at this point is if he strikes out 3 balls in the 10th frame. Tim Sharp would have to get a total of 9 pins to tie. Any sort of a mark in the 10th would win. But he's got a chance. The hammer's in his hand to put the pressure on Tim. He's got to have this one. No doubt. It's got to be there. This party is over.
You know, Tim is here by virtue of having been, you know, the second high qualifier from Saturday's competition. And he beat Ron Bonner this morning in the roll-off. So I just, that's how Tim actually got into our first match. I did want to clarify that.
No conceivable way for Bob to win now, even if Tim would hit his ankle twice. He's still going to be our winner with 190 in the 9th frame already. The best Bob can do is 188.
He's still going to try to finish off. I guess that's just the kind of day he's had.
Going wide, leaving the 210. Very difficult to, you know, to start out that strong and to figure out why a guy should fall apart. Both players have gone from exceptionally comfortable in the first 4 or 5 frames of the match to struggling in the later stages. A weak shot again. His hand going completely around that ball, Tommy. Not a good delivery.
Of course, Don Scudder, our king. He beat Mike Whalen last week. And I'll tell you, he could be awfully tough to beat.
Don could be tough to beat anywhere.
That's right.
Picks up the spare. Tim Sharp does. He will advance to the next round.
You know, with a spare, Tim will bowl his average exactly. He would be shooting. He's a 210 average bowler, and he can have a 210 game.
You know, actually, Tim got started in bowling a little later than most.
Yeah, he did. Age 15, which is, you know, nowadays, that is late.
Sure is, especially like David talked about with the bumpers and all. But nonetheless, Tim Sharp will advance to our next round on the Hudepohl King of TV Bowling. Stick around.